Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. Today, I like to share with you on the Wing Chun 1850 educations. I share this today to make this clear once for all is because many of our Wing Chunner friends from Europe and America have messaged me asking me what is the best way to learn the Wing Chun 1850. So I like to share with you really clearly what is going on this education of 1850 Wing Chun. So 2 days ago, uh, I shared this YouTube in this channel. These are what you can expect if you have Wing Chun 1850 educations, where Daniel and Raymond share their experience in details. And after that, many of our friends message me. That's why, as in the beginning of this YouTube, I share with everybody here saying that I'm going to share with you so that you be able to have a proper educations if you like to have one. And this also, I want to cut off any connection with today's Wing Chun teaching or Sifu this, Sifu that, because the Wing Chun 1850 educations is an education system like in our college. I spent the last 7 years to set this education platform up so that here on everybody be able to learn a proper Wing Chun 1850s uh, contents or the material. So let's get into this. First, we must know, education means one needs to learn proper, useful technical content. You want to learn something which is useful and technical for your daily. It doesn't matter for your daily life, for your health, for your family, or for fighting. It has to be proper and useful. For example, if you learn how to drive, you can learn driving like for everyday living. But for those people who love to drive, can learn it and then continue on to learn how to race, like in Formula One. There's nothing wrong with it, but not everybody is going to race in Formula One. Okay? But the basic driving class has to be proper and useful technically, or else you are not learning anything, you're wasting your time. And not even wasting your time, you might get into serious problem if you don't have a proper education like in the driving. And all of this has to base on the proper useful technical content has to based on historical and scientific evidence. People do things because there's a history record why things evolve. Okay. And as we today know, everything is keep evolving, improving with scientific. So you need the historical records or evidence and scientific records or evidence to support what you learn. Okay? And also it's like you learn how to drive. How many hours you need to learn how to drive? 20 hours, 40 hours. It is not forever that you become the driving instructor's slave, that you have keeping going to the driving school. You never learn what is the reality, and you keeping thinking someday you can be Formula One racer. If you learn how to drive, it is only 24 or 40 hours you know how to drive. You want to be a Formula One racer, that you have to spend time and learn different things with different teacher, different class, and so forth. But everything you need to learn thing in a period of time. Okay? And for example, in the physics class in your high school, you take one class, you know what is Newton's law. You know what is mechanics, you know what is electric. If you don't want to go to university to learn physics because you have no interest, you know what is physics. You can study music, but you have a high school physics class, and you know what it is. It's not necessary you get a PhD of physics, okay? But the class you took in the high school is useful because it's daily, everyday living. You know what it is. You can understand what people is talking about. Yet you don't have to be Einstein or another Newton, okay? So there's education. And all this education, like driving a car, learn how to drive, or learning physics, it is not an opinion. It is not an interpretation. It's not a belief. It's not like hey, I believe cars should drive this way. What do you mean? Okay, if you drive a car, you need to drive this way. You drive a four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive a truck. You need to know their differences and exactly what it is. It's not your opinion where you have no idea what is driving a truck, and you're thinking, well, I can ride a bicycle, so I can drive a truck. And then you're keeping talking your opinion or your interpretation or your belief. You're going to drive a 10 tons truck like you pedal bicycle. It never happened. Okay. You better know how to learn a truck, how to drive a truck. So education meaning it has to be specific. It has to help you to be able to use it in your life or to go further. And it never take an entire life, okay, such as you learn physics or driving a car. Okay. Now there's no such thing as you learning a 修炼套, and then you say you're keeping practice and someday you'll get it. From that, you know you're screwed already. Okay. Those are just mimic thing, and those are not education. Now, education means no undefined subject. It's like, oh yeah, you just mimic your 修炼套 sets. What are you going to learn in the 修炼套 sets? Don't know. Just mimic it. Just call undefined subject. No keeping changing teaching. You see many people today keeping changing from this lineage, that lineage, whatever lineage. They are changing their teaching. Today they say I'm going to teach based on this lineage. Tomorrow based on the other lineage. Have you heard about people teaching physics saying that I have to teach uh, according to Boston University or the California University, or it doesn't matter. Physics is physics. Okay. Every school, the first class of physics is always the same. Also, there's no uncertainty. You learn physics, you learn how to drive a car. How to drive a car. When you're going to go corner, like when you drive a car, how to do a corner. There is no uncertainty. Say, maybe I should brake first. Maybe I should push my gas harder. There's no such maybe. You drive a car, you go through the corner, you have to know what to do. If you are too fast, you need to slow down. If you are too slow, you have to pick up your speed. There's no uncertainty there, no hearsay. There's no such thing as according to this grandmaster, according to my lineage, according to this university's belief. So when you learn physics, physics is physics. It's based on math. Okay. So it's not like I heard that somebody say this tansao is this way, this tansao is that way. There's no such thing. What is tansao? It better define. It's like what is a four-wheel drive or what is a two-wheel drive? It better be really clear. Are you driving a four-wheel drive? You driving a two-wheel drive? You driving a truck? It better be clearly defined. No mimic movie stuff. This day you see one Ip Man movie from Hong Kong comes out, you can see that when the Ip Man character in the movie doing those what the squat, the Ip Man squat, everybody doing Ip Man squat in the entire China. And in the movie doing this bong this way, that bong that way, everybody doing it. Those are called movie stuff. Okay. No untrained self-proclaimed sifu teaching what he doesn't know. Like your high school teacher, they have to go through educations to on physics, on how to teach a high school to teach you or teach us. Okay, a driving school teacher have to learn how to drive and how to teach how to drive before they can teach the driving school. Okay, now so there is no untrained self-proclaimed sifu. This day there are a lot of people who watch movie, mimic the movement, who go from this lineage to that lineage, collecting whatever informations, and then they have their own creativity. They never train, and they go to teach. Okay. Yet, if you ask them about breathing, about this, about that, nobody know. Okay. There's no such thing there. So all of this, no. So I'm going to share with you, elaborate this thing and this thing for you, so that you make it clear when it comes to 1850, you have to follow my presentation here. And my presentation here is not about Hendrik. It's about history and science. Okay? The proper way to do things so that make sure you get the value from what you pay for, from you spend with your time. And you can improve it and you can invest on it. Okay? No slave. pushing, and you don't have to be anybody's slave. If you go to a physics class, you don't have to be Newton's slaves. Okay? You can learn physics in one semester. Now, so this is movie stuff. This is called movie. This is fake. There's no Wing Chun here. This is just choreography. Okay? Make believe. So, no mimic movie stuff. You don't mimic this and learn Wing Chun. You can. Okay? Now, Wing Chun is a well-defined thing. Wing Chun is a well-defined subject. Wing Chun never change. Why? And Wing Chun is always certain because this is historical records. This is the writing of Wing Chun, 1850. This is where Wing Chun is from the history, where it is from the Shaolin, from the Ermei, from the White Crane. That is a done deal in the history. Okay, you can check into the anti-Qing, you can check into the opera where male playing female role. At China, 1850, there are no such thing as a female play female role in the history. So only male play female role. So this is no uncertainty. Everything is well defined and it's based on history. Okay, and people have been using it and the evolution and so forth. Now, Wing Chun is based on General Qi Ji Guang, 1560, where the Chinese martial arts since 1560 is always a mixed martial art of long fist momentum, short strike momentum, and ground fighting momentum. It's all this momentum, power, strength, movement, and the combo. And for Wing Chun is a special in the Wing Chun specialty is in the short strike, even though this is the base of general Chinese Kung Fu. So after 1560, the general platform of Chinese Kung Fu mean that you have to know the long fist momentum, short strike momentum, and ground fighting momentum. And yet you have to have your specialty. Wing Chun specialty is this, where it is a close body, sticking body, short strike with four arms to attack in the same thing simultaneously. Your leg arm, your body, and your two arm. Okay? So there is no undefined thing there. Also, the body conditions of Wing Chun 1850. We know you have the fighting training, the endurance or strengthening training, the fitness training, and the neurosing training to support this fighting art. And for the details, you can watch my YouTube on this YouTube, the Black Belt YouTube, this YouTube. You can, all this YouTube you can watch and you can have more details on what I covered just now. So there's no uncertainty there. There's no mimic movie. Okay. Now, so you have this body conditioning. There's no way that you have no body conditioning and you say, well, I want to fight. Okay. And you need to know how to recover if you get, if you exhausted in your training and so forth. Now, as for the teacher, okay, one has to have a training. Say in the chi neurosing or in the recovery in the Chinese, It is a Buddhist art. So, like for me, this is my teacher, Venerable Xianhua. This is the Zen Patriarch Xu Yun. This is Miss Ananda Jennings from California. This is real people. They taught Buddhism, and that's where we can track back what the teaching of the recovery here is really from the Buddha's teaching, the Zen teaching. Okay? So it never is just self proclaimed. It never is just opinion, interpretation, or belief. You need to be pinpoint. It's just like when you go to a physics class, your teacher who teach you in physics come from a university where you can track. It's like you come from this. This is like a university's class. You can track who they are, and also all those body conditioning. Okay, the chi handling, the fitness training, the strengthening training. Today you can track with the sports science. You can track, you can have data like using the Garmin's and different tools. Okay, so again, there's no uncertainty there. You train that thing, you better get the result. If you don't get the result, you don't know all the entire situations. How the world are you going to train anything? Okay, and in terms of self-proclaimed Sifu, you need to show who you train with in the subject. So 1850 Wing Chun. You know, I train with my Sifu. I got the inheritance from my Sifu, uh, Venerable Grandmaster late Grandmaster Cho Hong Choi. No, watch this YouTube. All this document who is who, what you were trained. Okay. So you need to have a legit teacher who train you, how long you train you. So now, as in here, in this YouTube I share with you, I'm a Kyokushin. Okay. My certification there, so it's like my Wing Chun training. I have can show you the letter of communications and the photo and so forth where me with my teacher, I need to show my membership, my certificate. I need to show you like in this is one my YouTube over here in this YouTube too. Where do I learn my Kyokushin? My teacher, Masoyama, and others who involved in training me. Okay, so you need to have that clean. So when you want to say that, oh, I learned Wing Chun 1850, you know the subject, you know who is training you, and then you say, well, I want to learn deep into the recovery part, the chi part, and the awareness part. Then you can go to the like this in Zen. Who did I train with? Who teach me? Based on what sutta of Buddhism? Okay, so you know this thing. And that's what I say, it's the same thing. If I learn Kyokushin or I learn Cho family art or I learn the 1850s Wing Chun, you always have your teacher. Where do you learn? Your proof of you are learning that. Not like this. Like watch this YouTube. Okay. Watch this YouTube. People making up things left and right. Watch this YouTube. People making things left and right will have no idea on what is going on. Okay? They have no idea on all those things, but they make it left and right, making up their stuff. Okay? And let me share with you, because of this incident, that is why I set up this platform for you all now. So the con man, the snake oil seller, will never be able to hear on touch the 1850s Wing Chun. Because I share with you, when the teacher want to teach you, or you go to a teacher learning 1850 Wing Chun, you ask them with all this thing I share with you, because even me, I have to be clear with you. This is what I learned from Cho Hong Choi, from late Sifu Cho Hong Choi. This is where it from historically. This is where the Wing Chun come from, the Qi Ji Guang. This is the uniqueness of the Shaolin. And this is, in today's language, sport science is this. And you be able to prove it, walk your talk, show whatever you can get, and track it scientifically. And if people ask me, okay, so in depth of all the samadhi stuff and everything, who you learn, well, you get into this. Okay. And you say, well, you learn other thing of fighting or everything. Sure. That's why I show, well, this is my teacher, Si Hanjo Chin Tat Chin. And I learned from at this era. And Sihan is with Ma Soyama. So, not this, keeping making up stuff where you don't know. So, the bottom line is, again, you need to learn things properly so that you can use it. So, am I using it for fighting? No, I'm a Silicon Valley design engineer. Do I go like taking a career to fight in MMA or to fight in the kickboxing or whatever? No, I'm not. I am a design engineer in the Silicon Valley. But what I learned benefit me for my daily life. It's like I learn how to drive. I don't have to be the Formula One driver, but hey man, don't bullshit me. I know what is driving. And so when you need to drive, you'll be able to drive. And if you don't know how to drive a truck, but because you know about driving of a four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and truck, they are different driving, you can get somebody who is good at a driving truck to teach you how to drive a truck. Instead of sitting down there, uh, everybody know everything, but when you talk, you know everything. But when you go really up to the driving of the truck, you completely have no idea what is going on. And driving a truck is not a opinion or your belief, okay? So, as I share with you, because of all these incidents, go watch this YouTube. I met all these people, and that's why I set it up using all this year to set it up, the 1850 Wing Chun educations, to block all those people off. It's like you design, you selling a phone. This thing has to be have a set its specifications, have its warranty, has its purpose, or have its value. You don't selling bullshit. That's why I set this thing up here. So it's not about Hendrik or this and that. Even me, I share with you, I show you what I have. I clear up who is my teacher, where do I learn what is the content, everything is transparent. Okay. So any teacher, you can go ask them. Now, the same with Daniel. Daniel here, Raymond here. You ask him the questions I just shared with you. They ought to be able to answer you. Because there's a way how. When I coach them, there's the way how it is. Everything is transparent. There is no such thing as I'm the God and you got my magic touch and you're a God too. No, everything is like in Buddha's teaching, learning in Buddhism, in Kyokushin, you have to really know every details and you get to have a proper training. Now, so 1850 Wing Chun is education based. So it has to have a standard textbook, standard curriculum, standard content, and standard training. So, for example, this is the Shaolin Short Strike recycling momentum. So when you want to do this, you need to know recycling momentum based on Shaolin Short Strike. Okay, so it's based on textbook, and you need to have it because it's based on curriculum. If you don't have that curriculum, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, and also the content of your studying and the training. So this is from the book. Okay, from Mang Xuanji of Shaolin. So in my book, uh, the recycling Wing Chun, you have this, the recycling momentum. You see this X here. Now, those like Daniel and Raymond who train, who coach by me, they have even more than just whatever in the book. Okay, they train more. They train in how to change directions and so forth. You see this X in the ground? You see this X in the ground? There are many things there. If you never train, you don't know. So I purposely set it up so that people do not watching my YouTube and just reading my books and bullshitting what it is, As what I'm saying, I'm cutting away all this nonsense. I try to be nice with people, try to help them, but end up that they're using my stuff and to make fake stuff, and then turn around, try to badmouth me or try to damage the real Chinese Wing Chun history or Chinese Wing Chun. Okay, that's why I set the education platform. I make it. It's like you go to a physics class or driving class, or you go study Kyokushin or the Buddha's teaching. You're learning Buddhisms. Everything has to be step and step, and everything has to be clear. Okay, so anybody like Daniel and Raymond here in this YouTube, Raymond and Daniel here have to go through that. Have to go through that. Okay, have to go through that. So it's not just like you watch my YouTube on recycling momentum, And also there are things I don't tell the world. where Raymond, like Raymond, for example, and Daniel train. They are all the body conditioning. This is the using the Red Book training band and all this alignment conditioning. That's why when uh when Daniel when Daniel share with you that he can do shoot in when you go play in the gym with his friend, spar with the gym, because the entire body is conditioned and well trained. So they have this basic before they can get into this so that they really know what is here. Or else they cannot do it. That's the reason why you need to have a proper training. Okay. You need to have a proper training. It's like I have to go through the meditation training. I have to go through all the starting with my late Sifu Cho Hong Choi. I need to go through all the basic Kihon of a Kyokushin. Okay? Not this, not whatever here, just talk, 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 and made up, and then using this fake idea to play uh expert. Those things, like all this fake stuff, what is the chance you think you go up to a Kyokushin Open? Not to say that even have to be the world tournament. This local tournament, what is the chance that you'll be able to handle? Same thing. Now, what is the chance you're going to handle a Western boxer or a MMA player? Okay. So, education has to base on standard textbook, standard curriculum, content, and standard training. So, as what I said, it doesn't matter it's Daniel or Raymond or other people. As soon as they have went through the training, they can tell you about this thing. There are many of them. Okay, but because we only have Daniel and Raymond in the YouTube, I tell you. So later on, I'm going to share with you more. So I make this textbook, standard textbook. This standard textbooks. You see, I don't keeping writing my textbook or my books, or I don't keeping writing with I shake hand with this grandmaster, that grandmaster. Because this book, every one of the book is defining the content. It is defining the subject. It is actually presenting a component, an element of this. Okay? You can take any of this book. You take a part of this book. You go ask Raymond or Daniel. They'll be able to tell you what it is. Now, they might not as proficient as me, or Daniel might know certain part more than Raymond. Raymond might know certain part more than Daniel, but every one of them is based on this. So there is no such thing as secret teaching. So both Daniel and Raymond, you after 5, 8 years, they can tell you what in all these books and more because, for example, like this conditioning, I didn't show in this book. I show something there, the direction there, the topic there, but I didn't go through really, really deep. But when people train for fighting, they have to develop their body. They have to go really, really deep. Okay? A book will never be able to cover everything. A book is a good, like a physics books. It cover all the theory and so forth, but there's a lot of this problem solving. You need to get a professor or a teacher in high school, a professor in the university to solve that tough problems. That's why you have a differences between learning a high school physics or a PhD in physics. How to solve that the difficult problem. So like people who train with me, they have all this. They have all this training. Like for example, you guys are the student of Raymond or Daniel. Go ask your teacher. They can tell you what it is in details. Okay. So this is what I leave for you all. An education based on these textbooks, based on training, and also in this channel, I put a lot of things here so you can track. Everything is transparent because it's an education. It's not about me. Do you see I make a lot of money? You can ask Daniel or Raymond, do I want royalty? Or I tell them, hey, you better go teaching your student well, okay, and be addictive. Like Daniel the other day talked about people who have diabetic. He trained it differently. Same with Raymond. That has to be addictive. You cannot say, well, and everybody is one size cut all, one size fit all. There's no such thing. You are the instructor, not Sifu. Okay, Sifu is a too vague a words. I told them not to use the Sifu term. Instructor, like if you are instructor in high school, in college, in university, not like a Sifu for what? And then also, what have you learned? If you say, well, I can teach, say for example, me, I can teach electronics. I can go to details. My expertise is in analog design. My expertise in the analog design, in the power management architecture. That's my expertise. It's not just like I'm a seafood in electronic design. Okay, it has to be really details there. Same with Wing Chun 1850s. So this way is fair for everybody. It's good for everybody. When you learn it, you pay money. You need to get a value. You need to learn something useful for yourself. For the people, the instructor who teach you, they have to learn it. They have to keep uh, studying it, keep improve it, evolve it to teach you. So they deserve to get your uh, get paid. Okay. So it's like the university professor. They deserve to get paid because they have to study all this thing in order to teach you. And that one, this way, it is a fair trade. You got, you learn something useful. The teacher teach you something useful, and they investigate on something which is they interested in. This is how the society works. So there are no such thing. For me, there are no such thing like, I have the magic. You get my magic touch. You pay me this much money, and then you get my magic touch, and then you go out there, and then you touch somebody, somebody get the magic touch. But what do you learn? Don't know. It's just the Chinese term. And you see that even up to today, I never like to use my Chinese name. Why? Because it is the educations, it is the 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 technology, the science, the Chinese culture, the Buddhist teaching, which is important. It is not about me or making money or putting somebody as God. Today's world is a worldwide international world. So we want everybody to learn good stuff, valuable stuff to help them to live a better life for their health, for their different area in their life. Especially when if you someday you grow old as me, if you're not as old as me, there are a lot of things is changing in our body after 50 years old. So you need all these things to help you. Okay, so this is the educations, and I tell you right now that this is the standard. This is not based on Hendrik. This is based on science and historic facts. It's not, there's not in my opinion. It's like a physics textbooks. So those of you who want to study Wing Chun, the authentic Wing Chun, 1850, you ought to get all this book. You ought to at least go through it and understand every part of it. Now, if you want to be instructor like Raymond or Daniel, then you need to know all those basic and develop it. You need to develop the skill, or else there's no way you can do anything. And not like this type of stuff or this kind of stuff, and learning one sets, or getting this quit and learning a few Chinese term, and then you think you're grandmaster. Grandmaster of what? Okay. How many years it take to get a black belt in the Kyokushin? How many hours have to be trained? How many hours of sparring have to go through? For me, I got more than until my brown black, I have more than 600 hours of sparring. Full contact, no gut sparring. You take how many years? From 1973 to 1977. Okay. And am I a grandmaster? Of course not. I'm somebody who learned it. And so I know what it is. So it's like everybody who can learn how to drive. After 40 hours, you know how to drive. And then for CD driving, for highway driving, and you're keeping practice, getting good at it. But that is not the same with the Formula One. Formula One, you have to get more training. Okay. So it's not like you go watching a movie, and when the Yip Man, the movie, doing the squat down to fight Mike Tyson, you do a squat down too. Like all these people in China. Are you serious? So I make this clear. I leave it here in America. So here on, you guys know 1850s Wing Chun is an education. Okay. And this is what it is, how it is. You heard from me direct, so that you avoid all the fake people, and the instructor have to have a standard. You need to train in order to get the value of your learning, but you always will get the value of your learning because it can be scientific proven, and it's adaptive. If you are not supposed to train that thing, like if you have a diabetic, and the blood sugar is not well controlled and so forth, you are not going to go train anaerobic and the zone 5 and all those things until you get your health settled down. Otherwise, you're going to screw yourself. Okay. You don't do those kind of endurance stuff before you have your blood sugar settle down, your body, your health settle down. So I hope that this is clear for you all. From now up to the history, I leave this in America because America is the best place that culture, real art can be protected because people here value the culture, the educations, and the art, not monkeying around with politics, this and that, and do not monkey around with scams. Okay,